State Representative Ken Judge from Waukee is hitting the doors to try and win over voters. Judge is a Democrat in a district where there are more active Republicans and independents than his own party. Despite that, he won by nearly 10.5 points in 2022.
That doesn't mean that it'll happen again this year. You have to work and you have to talk to people, and your votes matter.
Judge is going up against Oliver Bardwell, a Republican. Currently, Republicans statewide have 168,000 more active registered voters than Democrats. University of Iowa political science professor Tim Hagel says this is for a couple reasons, such as a 2021 law that moves voter status to inactive if they miss an election.
That occurs much faster than it used to. It used to be every 4 years. If you didn't vote, then you would get moved to inactive. Now it's 2.
Hagel says shifts in registration are cyclical, and one reason Democrats likely dropped is because they didn't have a competitive caucus.
Usually, if you have an incumbent president, even with the caucuses, you're probably not going to have a whole lot of activity. But when you have an open caucus, it provides an opportunity for whichever party has that open caucus to really increase their voter registration.
While Democrats are down, Hagel says the change in the Democratic presidential ticket has changed the energy in the race.
The Harris campaign is relying on vibes, and this is the brat summer kind of a thing, which, don't ask me to explain it. But that it may be resonating to a certain extent.
Harris's campaign has embraced the so-called brat summer trend, which is a young vibe that means embracing yourself and your imperfections. Hagel says the change in energy is translated into voter registrations.
Even though the no-party registrations still dominate, the last couple of weeks we've seen Democrats above Republicans, not by a lot, but still some.
Judge says by continuing to knock on doors and meet voters, he thinks he can continue to connect with them.
You know, we live in a lot of ways in a polarized world, but I think I can transcend that and talk to folks that maybe don't agree with me on my politics.
The final number of voter registrations for the month of August comes out next week. Hagel predicts it'll show an increase in registered Democrats in Iowa as opposed to registered Republicans. At the Iowa Capitol Bureau, I'm Connor Hendricks reporting.